is two parts. It should slide in, but it is a tight fit.
Hey, that's what she said.
All right, in front of me, you see the whole home audio, and then we have our power cable right here. You can see, guys, here that this is coming from my phone. I'm putting the LED strip through. The last piece of the wiring puzzle did come in. Now, this doesn't mean that we can crank it and do everything because our WiiM has not arrived yet and it won't be here until the 24th to the 27th, I think is the delivery date. We have the wiring ready for that. However, everything else can be wired and hooked up right now. This stuff that came in is two parts. One is for the output of the Behringer Ultra Bass to feed the distribution amplifier to feed sub down to the subwoofer in the closet and also to the subs in the house. So basically, we're gonna come out of the Behringer here. It's got a single output. We got a male mono 1/4 inch phono plug to dual female RCA, but we have male to male RCA couplers right there. So let's get this connected up real quick. On this guy, we basically come out of sub out. All these professional products either have XLR or phono. And then we're really just going up here, literally right there to audio in. So I don't know if I'm gonna tie it up yet. I'm gonna look real quick. We got our cable plugged in. We do have a zip tie ready to go, and we got our male to male adapters on this. This plugs into our distribution amplifier where it says audio in, and then we'll tie the cable up really nicely right here with this little zip tie that I put in. Okay, we got our cable all connected up. We're coming out of our Behringer Ultra Bass. It's mono here. It splits to dual mono to go into the distribution amp. The distribution amp's gonna feed the sub down here and also feed the wall plate to both of the other subs in the living room for whole home subwoofer audio. That part is done. The other two male to males are for feeding the WiiM, which then in turn outputs to our Juke multi-zone audio amplifier here via this cable right here. The input to the WiiM will be either DOT or any other number of things. It can be anything really. For now, to test the audio, we won't have subwoofer. We don't have our sub out connected yet from the WiiM. We can't test the sub. We can't connect all of the speakers up though, and we have everything else ready to go. We can put our sub down there, slide everything in, and see if it is going to actually work like it's supposed to. So let's get this thing slid in there. So this thing barely fits. Barely fits. It does not fit unless you take off the base shoe and the trim completely. The base shoe has to be gone from both sides. The trim has to be gone from one side and the base shoe. It should slide in, but it is a tight fit. And once the trim goes in, it's not coming off. I want you to see how close this is. That's how tight it is. Look at both sides. And it's even tighter down here because of the trim. See, the trim's on the way right there. Otherwise, this thing would slide right in. Oh, it's still touching. That's how close it is. Oh, look at that. Fit. Oh, let's go, dog. Now, all we have to do is plug our stuff in. We have everything tied up really nice, right? So the subwoofer will hide this. We have power. Now this is network. Our switch is not on, so let's fire up everything. Make sure our switch links. We got power there, we got power there. Switch is booting up. Looks like we have 2 out of 3, which makes sense because our WiiM is not connected. Now this is our house sub. We have some extra cable here we can put underneath. Just like that. Sure, just goes right underneath and you can't see it. This is the LED power for the LED strip. And then this is sub in for the sub. Let's go grab our subwoofer and get it in here. Actually, before we do all that, let's see how close we are on our speaker inputs. 1 and 2. So these just do plug in just like this. So I kind of guessed where these were gonna go. And I'm just making sure they were in and they weren't in all the way. Now I'm firing up the Juke. All right, so that's all the wiring going into the walls. Now there's still an LED strip that's got to go in here. It goes on the trim, it goes around the edge here and faces into the closet, but that's what it looks like without. And then the WiiM will go right on top here. Okay, I just tested everything. I probably plugged something in wrong because a couple of the zones were wrong, but I just remapped them in the software. No big deal. It doesn't really matter which zone goes where. They're all labeled correctly. I probably just put one of the plugs in where it wasn't supposed to go. So all that's working and it sounds awesome. Next, subwoofer. I'm gonna go ahead and move this in here and install it. The Polk audio sub installed at the bottom. The only thing I'm worried about is rattling. I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens. Maybe put it on some sort of soft cushion. I had no choice. I didn't want to put the bottom shelf in, but you can't not put the bottom shelf in. You have to put it in. There's absolutely no way around it. It's part of the base, so you can't take it out. Other than that, it's great. Everything looks good. After I test, this thing's ready for action with the WiiM, but right now I tested Bluetooth from my phone to the Juke amp and it works perfectly. Looks pretty good too. I like the way it came out. The closet came out awesome. Very clean, white. It's gonna look so cool when these LED strips are around the trim. It's gonna go all the way around the trim right here, where that lip is, right there, and down this trim here, and it should light up the closet really nice along with that LED strip right there. Guys, we got the WiiM Ultra in front of me, and I hope it's pronounced WiiM. It looks like WiiM or WiiM. And this is a digital hub for all your music. It is a preamplifier only. This does not have any amplification in it. It does high-res audio, Spotify, Tidal, Chromecast, and of course, if I say this, it'll wake up, but you know what that is from Amazon. And then on the side, it says it looks good, sounds great, your magic home theater, and it's simplified, and it does effortless multi-room audio. I am super hyped for the WiiM Ultra sitting right here, so fresh and so fly in front of me on the table. And on the back of the box, it just says Dolby Audio and HDMI, and then tells you what actually is included in the box. Now, this is for the whole home audio closet to wrap up that project right here. I've been waiting on this, but this deserves its own video. It will have both. It will be in my audio closet video, and it will also go into its own video for the WiiM Ultra. So let's get this thing unboxed and see what's inside. I am super duper hyped for this. Unboxing the WiiM Ultra is as simple as just pulling on this little plastic tab right there, and the box is now open. Now, I have pre-wired everything for this, even power, so that I don't have to pull my audio shelf back out. I will show you that, guys, that momentarily, but this box should just lift off now. Let's see. And now the WiiM Ultra is looking so fresh and fly in front of you with no box on top of it. It is completely naked. It is gray, as you can see right here with the peel set. It is inside of a entire condom here. Let's get it out. First thing I notice is the weight. It does have some weight to it. It came out of the box just like that, and you can see how stylish it is, and the connections on the back and on the front. There looks like a headphone jack, a control knob, and there is a screen there. But anyway, that is the WiiM Ultra. You can see there on the bottom it says Dolby and HDMI. There's nothing on the side. It's just a nice, I think it's called space gray. And on the back we have input, output, just regular analog RCA cables. We have a phono input, a phono ground. We have a subwoofer out, which I'm super hyped about. We have a coax out, so this is digital coax. We have a trigger out, not sure what that is for. We have optical toslink out and in. We have HDMI ARC in. This is an input, not an output. We have a Ethernet jack here. We have a USB jack here, and then we have our power right there on the back. So that is what the inputs all look like on the WiiM Ultra. Deeper inside of the box, there is a WiiM Ultra manual here, pretty thick. It is also available for PDF download. And then right here, they give you some sort of cables. We need to open up and see what's inside. Now, they didn't even have to do this, but they provided an HDMI cable, a very nice one actually, a nice RCA cable as well, and also a Toslink cable. Unusual for them to include an optical cable, but it is right there. Now, this is labeled power cable, voice remote, and phono ground adapter. Let's get this thing unboxed as well. We are here in front of the whole home audio closet. You can see that we are pre-wired here for our brand new WiiM. All we have to do is plug it in, and we have everything we need right here for it, sitting so fresh and fly right in front of us. These two little male-to-male RCAs are for our analog adapter on our Juke amplifier. So those go directly here, and that's the output of the WiiM. Let's go grab the WiiM and get it set up now. Okay, we did get our WiiM connected. Everything worked perfectly. We have our output of our WiiM feeding our Juke whole home amplifier. We have our output of our dot here feeding the input of the WiiM in case we want to use that. We have the subwoofer output going to our distribution box right there, which feeds that sub and also the house. We have our Ethernet plugged in here. It is a Cat 6 cable and it goes to a 2.5 gig switch right down there. And then we have our power cable right here. This thing is connected. All we have to do now is hide the wiring and we're good to go. We can test it. The WiiM is fully booted up now. You can see the screen cycling with the nice screensaver in the back. You can see the button lit up there. Look how good it looks. It may not be quite centered there. It's just as deep as the Juke. So there's a good look at the finished product here with my shelf all done. This is the remote for the RGB lights that go there. And once this trim goes back on, there is smart Govee LED strip to go around the trim, which should look fly. But now we need to go into the app and see if we can look at our WiiM on the app. All right, we're back in front of the WiiM and you can see right here that we are playing Soma FM Sinfera. And I love this station, but I can't play it for you guys. I will get a copyright notice. So we're listening to Sinfera, and we do have an audio volume control right here. We also have our remote that we can work with to raise the volume and do other things, or command by voice. We could do voice commands if we want to. But yeah, we can't play any of this music because it's copyrighted. We will have to play some no copyright music for you guys. Okay, when I start the video on the camera, it does mute the volume on the playback for Bluetooth, but you can see, guys, here that this is coming from my phone and it was playing the audio in the house from my phone. So that's how you do Bluetooth, and so far so good. I'm going to show you guys a lot more of the features of the WiiM when I have a few more minutes to keep videoing. I got a little update for you guys now from right behind me in the audio closet. I've been doing a lot of work on this and I am proud to say that the end is near. Now, I took a lot of extra time to do everything I wanted in this closet, and I spent extra money to get premium audio cables and all the gear that I wanted to make this thing look fly. So let me show you guys where we are right now with this. So last night I did put in the WiiM and finished all the wiring on the audio closet, and you can see right here from top to bottom what's going on, and we will go over all that separately. But right here at the top, we have the WiiM, we have the Juke audio, full home amplifier. We've got our Behringer Ultra Bass, a audio distribution amp for the subs in the house and down here. We've got our dot, we've got our Ubiquity switch, we got our power conditioner here from Panamax, and we have our Polk audio sub. We have our power right here for our LED strip that's going on the trim. But right now, our next mission is to get all this trim reinstalled and painted and touch up the closet walls where it did get messed up. So we're going to be doing that next right here on Supercar Street Racing, so hang out with us. All right, today we have a couple of things to do. The trim is not all the way in. We're gonna be putting the trim in. We did mess up the paint on the walls a little bit, so we're gonna be patching that. And we have to caulk and paint this trim as well. We're gonna go ahead and paint this whole section right here. Since we're gonna paint this one, we might as well paint that as well, I think. Go ahead and get this trim reinstalled, get it nailed in with my brand new nailer over there, my finishing nailer, and then see how we touch this up and make it look good again. All right, guys, a little update. Someone recommended wood putty for me for these holes, and it's absolutely awful. I hate it. It doesn't dry for 7 to 14 days, by the way. So I went ahead and used caulk, and then I used regular drywall mud on top of that, which I will then try to sand, but I put that putty, painter's putty in there, and it was terrible. I'm gonna let that dry, but while that dries, I'm gonna go ahead and do my Govee LED strip. So the LED strip is gonna go right behind here. So super easy to put in. Let's go ahead and get that, because there's a slip all the way around, and I put power right here. So we'll have our little controller right here, and then it'll kind of be hidden. So let's grab our LED strip. So here's our 16-foot LED strip. The first thing I want to do is get it out and see if it actually is big enough to go around this whole thing. And if it's not, I need to start higher. So I want to see where the start point and the end point is. Let's put it at the very bottom. Oh my God, we got plenty. Putting the LED strip through the side of the rack so that I can hide it behind the rack. Okay, here's my plan. Power's right here, so strip's on. I'm gonna put the controller at the very bottom, tie the wire up nice behind here. All right, guys, we're back in the Supercar Street Racing amazing living room. The compound is fresh and fly today because we have finished up our project for the audio closet today. And I want you guys to take a look at what we did. I just finished painting the wall after I painted the trim as well. All this trim was painted, and all the trim was painted around my home theater curtains right here. And now the project is done, and I'm thinking of a fly sign to go right here above this that displays something. What? I don't know yet. Maybe something related to Supercar Street Racing or audio or something like that. But you do see inside of the theater closet that we do have our WiiM at the very top, the WiiM Ultra right here, the remotes for the LED strips that run along the side, the Govee LED strips. We have our remote for the WiiM. We have our Juke Audio 8-zone amplifier, which supplies audio to the whole house. Down below that, we've got our shelf. There will be a link in the description to the shelf. A little bit of a pain to put together, but once we figured it out, it was probably operator error. Underneath that, you can see the shelf comes with its own LED strip that is circulating into different colors. We've got the switch right here, the Ubiquity switch. We've got our dot. I don't want to say the name because it'll wake everything up. We have a 4-port audio splitter for our subwoofer signal. One goes down here and one goes to the rest of the entire house. We've got our Behringer Ultra Bass EX1200. We have our Panamax power system here, though this does do conditioning and keeps the voltage steady and all that. It has some cool lights on the front as well. And we've got our Polk sub down here, and that rounds out our project for the audio closet. It came out awesome. The closet looks so much better. It's so clean. There's room to do, if you wanted another shelf up here, you could do a shelf. There's a lot of room left in here to do whatever you wanted. But I am so thankful to have you guys on Supercar Street Racing. To support our channel, you have to do a couple of things. You need to like and subscribe, and you need to also buy all of your products through our Amazon affiliate links and there'll be links to all this. Look at this, it's touchscreen. How cool is that? We'll do a whole video on the WiiM, but this is awesome. Like, I love this thing. It's a preamp, it's high quality audio, it's very nice. It does Bluetooth and internet streaming and all that stuff, and so you need this in your life ASAP. Guys, please like and subscribe. Buy all your links through us. And we're going to have to get going now. We have a lot of stuff to do today. We got to watch football. Jags are playing today from Las Vegas, but we got to get out of here. We're going to go straight out that front door and just keep walking as far as we can.